Welcome back to another episode of Two Average Husbands. I am your host, Jake.
And I'm your host, Kyle. Welcome back, everybody. Jake has to go first this week, and Jake has to do the fun fact this week. However, before he does that, I need to apologize to my female cat. After reviewing what I said in our last episode, I did not do a very good job of describing her personality, and I made her seem like she is a horrendous individual. She's not. She's lovely, very nice, and she only really hates her brother. So now that we've gotten that out of the way, Jake, what are you drinking this week? And then we can roll into your first topic and your other fun fact.
I didn't plan my beers ahead yet again, so...
Third shelf, second beer.
Actually, works for me. I just
You're
got all my beer from Tavour before our last week's episode, so I have like 20 new beers to try. It's great. So this one is Persuasion. Is that the brewery? I don't know. It says Persuasion. It's got cookies on it. It's an imperial stout with pretzels, potato chips, coffee, oats, graham cracker, chocolate, butterscotch, and vanilla.
That sounds good.
I'm hoping it is. It looked good, which is why I got it. It's from Savannah. No. Okay, so Persuasion is the name of the beer. It is from Two Tides Brewing, which is out of Savannah, Georgia.
Okay. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. But as always, I always have a tendency to be really hesitant if I think one's going to be really good, because then I get disappointed. But I am starting off with the Highwater Brewing Break Apart Orange Cream Ale, which is supposed to be like one of the break open chocolate oranges. It's supposed to be modeled after that flavor. So I'm really hoping that they nailed this one, because those things are delicious.
Those are pretty good. I can't even pretend they're not.
Do you want to know a fun fact that's not the actual fun fact?
Yes, because that gives me another minute to keep looking at my fun fact.
Okay, so first of all, of note, it was pretty much my fault last week that we didn't do an episode, although Jake was also sick. But work's been crazy. I hate it right now. I'm just stupid busy and a lot of things going on with work. But I was at work today, and I've been in a generally bad mood, I would say, at work recently. And some guy comes up to me, and I forgot to tell Carly about this, so I hope she's listening right now because this is funny. He came up to me and goes, "Does anybody ever tell you that you look like the old guy from Up?" And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, no, but it's funny because I actually dressed as that guy from Halloween one year. And then it took me maybe a full 10 minutes to realize that he was basing that entire conclusion on the fact that I wore glasses and I have a giant fucking chin. That was his two determining factors in telling me that. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude. I think you meant to be funny, but that's borderline insulting. So I'm just going to take it and run with it. You son of a bee.
There's worse things to be compared to in life.
The other comparison I got that will stick with me for the rest of my life, and this one I actually think is funny because it's relatively accurate, is that I was working in a juvenile delinquent facility right out of college, right after college, and one of the kids that I was working with came up to me again, approached me like that, and goes, "Has anybody ever told you that you look like a Lego man?" And it's because if you just picture the most generic white person of all time, and then just the brown hair swoop,
Yep,
that is what I look like all the time. So that was a pretty good one. I appreciated that one.
I can see that one. I can see them both, honestly, but that one fits a little bit better in my opinion.
It was a good one. It was pretty funny that time.
If I had to describe you, it would be as a Lego.
Yeah, I'm a pretty average looking person with a big chin.
But
all right, Jake, fun fact us.
Fun fact, which is also going to roll right into my first topic. It's Super Bowl Sunday this weekend.
Sure is.
It's the best day of the year for football fans, besides maybe the draft. Depends on how good your team drafts. I'm a Bears fan, so historically pretty bad. But did you know that the Super Bowl is the second highest eating day in America besides Thanksgiving?
That shocks me 0%. Everybody throws immaculate fucking parties. Most of the time, the people don't even want to watch the game. They're there for the beer and they're there for the snacks.
Honestly,
big snack day.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But guess that's not the fun fact. That's just part of the fun fact. Guess how many pounds of guacamole are consumed on Super Bowl Sunday?
In the United States?
Yes.
60,000.
You aren't even fucking close. 8 million pounds
Holy
of guacamole are consumed on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's a good fun fact. That's a lot.
Right?
That is a lot of fucking guacamole.
Yeah, it's crazy.
How many tons is that?
Uh,
400.
ton is 2,000 pounds.
Yeah.
There's how many tons in a million?
How many semi trucks is that of guacamole?
I'm
That's
not
what I
even
want to
gonna
know. I need you to
attempt
math
to
that out
figure-
for me.
I'm-
Somebody
nope.
do the math.
Uncle Kyle, where's our expert in the
In
field?
the semi truck business. yeah.
Semi truck field here. But also, another random fun fact here is there are 54 footballs per team. And on average during the Super Bowl, no, sorry, they receive 108. 54 are for the game, 54 are for practice. And on average during the Super Bowl, 120 total footballs are used, with the rest of the footballs being used for kickers. So they use a lot of footballs too. A lot of guacamole.
That doesn't surprise me.
A lot of footballs. Big deal. But with the Super Bowl right around the corner, I get the luxury of going first too, which means I get to steal the Super Bowl as the
You do.
topic.
Yeah.
I want to hear your thoughts on the Super Bowl coming up. Who do you think's going to win? How do you think the game's going to go? Is there anything particular you're excited to see?
Yeah.
Let's start
I
with
think-
prediction. What do you think? How do you think the game's going to go?
What's the last health update on Kelsey and Mahomes?
Fine.
I think the Chiefs are going to come out and win the game then. I think the real interesting thing to watch is going to be if Kansas City's defense can keep up, because they have had a tendency to not do well as compared to their offense in the last few years, and they have historically played better in the second half of the year. But I still think the Philadelphia defense is probably better. So it will be interesting to see Mahomes work the magic against the Eagles defense. But I think Mahomes is far and above better than Jalen Hurts. It's just a matter of who's going to be able to scheme this better. And I like Andy Reid's chances of scheming against the Eagles better. And I would put my money on Mahomes almost every time.
We're
I'm going with the Chiefs.
We're a split podcast here. I think the Eagles got this one.
I don't.
The Eagles are the better overall team right now. They're deeper in every facet of the game. They have a more complete defense. Their defense has been dominant against the pass all year.
Yeah.
They've struggled a little bit against the run, but since Jordan Davis has come back and been healthy, they've been a much better run defense as well. I think the game and everything around it, all of the data leads to the Eagles' side. The Eagles are a better rushing team. The Chiefs are worse against the run. The Chiefs' defense is best when playing zone coverage. But if you play zone coverage against Jalen Hurts, he just says, okay, let me dink and dunk to two of the best wide receivers in football, one of the best tight ends in football. We've got a running back who's wildly underrated. He himself can run, and he's seemingly completely healthy at this point in the year. A lot of the data to me just leads directly to the Eagles being the superior team in this game. And as a result, I think the Eagles are going to take this one.
Okay.
I think it could be a good game, but it also would not shock me at all if it's like a complete 38-7 game. Like, it wouldn't shock me at all.
Yeah, that's always the fucking worst too. Those are the worst Super Bowls to watch. Unless you're like a fan of the team that's doing the blowout, then
Yeah.
the worst.
I'm going to have a good time. I am waking up at about 8 a.m., immediately cracking a beer, getting food on the smoker. I've got 6 pounds of wings to smoke, 3 pounds of ribs, some queso that I'm making. My mom's making guac. I got to make chicken tenders for my dad because he's like you and doesn't eat meat off the bone.
It's true.
We got food on deck.
Big baby about meat on the bone.
And the best part is, or the worst part, I'm not a fan of either team. I would like it if Mahomes wins another Super Bowl. That's obviously an awesome story. I just noticed this alpha hair I got going on. I'm just gonna tuck that one. No, there it is. I like the Eagles. I bought an Eagles shirt.
I hate that.
I could not do it. It's one of the Bussin' with the Boys shirts. It's the Eagles, wings are the boys. I also bought the Bears Bussin' with the Boys hat. Don't worry, Kyle. I bought 2 of the Dallas hats.
Did you?
They're sick.
Good for you.
They have this white and lavender one.
They're actually really hard to get. You have to
Yeah.
really time it up to get them in their store.
I saw when I went on their website when the next drop was, because when I texted you about them, I was gonna just buy it that day.
Yeah,
And
they're hard
then
to get.
They weren't in stock, and then I went back to the website on that day, got them. Should be here soon. But I also got the Bussin' with the Boys hat on the way and the Eagles shirt, which isn't going to be here in time for the Super Bowl, I don't think. But if it is, EAGLES, Eagles. I had to
Shout out to Carly, by the way, because she's the one that's done all the work for me to get that hat. So I did none of that. She just got it as a gift for me. I don't know. I have to hate the Eagles. I'm a Dallas fan, so even if I thought the Eagles were going to win, I probably wouldn't admit it. So I'm still going to root for Kansas City, but I'm with you, man. Like I didn't want to see either of these teams in the Super Bowl.
I wanted to see the Eagles, but I wanted it to be Eagles-Bengals. I thought that would have been a really fun game.
Yeah, we talked about that before as the Bengals and the Chiefs were playing each other. I don't know, dude. I almost don't even want to watch it, but I will anyway. But I also have like other shit going on this weekend, so I'm probably going to be like half attention onto that whatsoever. Maybe I'll just fucking... Actually, I'm not even going to spoil that because that's my next topic, so I'm not going to talk about that yet. But, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a huge opinion on this, but I'm probably just going to root for the Chiefs.
Who do you think is going to be the MVP for either team if they win?
The quarterback on either side.
I tend to agree with you. Unless, like, you know, if Hassan Reddick has 7 sacks.
Or if like Travis Kelce has 5 touchdowns.
Yeah, if Darius Slay has 3 picks, if somebody has a pick 6 and that like seals the win.
Yeah.
I think you go there, but I do think by default it's going to be one of the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
How are you taking the over or the under on the whatever
what
the
is
time is for the national anthem?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Dude, the number of like, that's probably another good fun fact is the amount of random ass things people bet on Super Bowl Sunday.
Oh, it's me. I bet on all of them. So let's see here. What game props do we got? These are all like actually the game. I want different ones. Where are the exotic props? Here we go. So the over under for the national anthem.
The length, right?
It's being sung, yes, by Chris Stapleton.
Okay.
It is set at 124 and a half. So
if you listen to like the OG version, how long is it?
If you just Google
Yeah. National anthem, whatever fucking pops up.
Star Spangled Banner. 1 minute and 28 seconds. The average for the Super Bowl looks to be longer, though.
That doesn't surprise me. Yeah.
The Whitney Houston video is 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Lady Gaga's is 2:54.
I'm going to go with under.
I think I'm going to take the over.
I think a country music star that's a dude is going to come out there and just not like try to belt it out, hit the fucking hard notes. He's going to come out there and sing the national anthem.
It's also like his voice is not like built for like the belting style. I think it'll be good though.
I'm going to go with the under. That's a tough one though because the line isn't even at the actual length of the song. So I'm like betting he's going to rapidly come through this.
Yeah. It's interesting. Last year it like leaked early, like people were leaking the how long the like practices were going. So I followed that and bet. I'm pretty sure the over hit last year. Whatever hit last year, I bet it. This year we got the coin toss as well. Heads or tails, Kyle? I see you're chewing, so I'll say mine first. I think it's going to be tails.
Tails.
Tails never fails. You got to go with tails. Halftime song. Over or under 8.5 songs played?
Under.
I'm going to take the under here as well. I think it's going to be like 6. Gatorade color. So here are the odds. So I'll tell you, so just so you know the odds, yellow/green is plus 165. It's the favorite right now. Followed by orange, blue, red, clear, purple, or none.
Mine is definitively always going to be orange.
See, that's where you're wrong. You always pick. It's the worst. It's always the worst flavor. So it's blue. It's going to be blue.
I don't know that most people would agree with you on that.
So here's why it's the worst flavor. They're drinking the good ones during the game. So you pick the worst flavor left over.
Do you know how many times I've seen orange Gatorade dumped? A lot.
Orange is the hitter, though.
I'm going to orange.
Fine.
All right, you got blue.
Let's see. Those are most of the fun ones that they give. But it's the Super Bowl. I'm excited as a football fan. I know you are too, even if you say you're not excited for the game. It's a great weekend.
I'm going to watch it. It's just the Super Bowl gets the struggle is like it is like you described it, right? It is the number one football fanatics game, right? Whether your team made it or not. And so there's this sense of like hype up that always goes into the Super Bowl, and then it's just so easy to be disappointing. Like it is so easy for the Super Bowl to just like play out and you're like, God, that sucked. You know what I mean? Like
that's rare though.
I don't agree. I think there are many times when the Super Bowl is just fucking lame. What was the last? So I know this is a little bit long time ago, but the Denver one from like 2012, 2013,
It was 2012.
whatever. That game sucked. And I was working that night at a bar, and like everybody just like left the bar.
2014. That was the year that Denver got shelled.
Yeah, terrible game.
But see, like, you don't get that all the time. Like, so outside of that one, if you just look at the years since that one, even, 28, 24, 24, 10, that one was kind of bad, but that's what happens when Carolina and Ron Rivera make it to a Super Bowl. New England, Atlanta, that was an amazing game, 28-3.
Okay, this explains a lot. Carly just texted me, and Uncle Kyle is commenting on Twitch. She said, "Are you guys getting any comments? Because it won't let me comment on my phone or iPad because it says this is children's content. So somehow when you posted this video, it's posted as kids content, so nobody can comment, which would probably be the reason why we're not getting any comments." Good to know.
Tried to update the stream. Hopefully that fixes things. It looks like it did on my end. Thank you for pointing that out. I did not know that. I apologize for that.
That is so funny.
Didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either.
Today I learned. Let's see. But yeah, so you have that New England Super Bowl versus Atlanta, 28-3. I'll never let my friends who are Falcons fans forget it. Then you had Philly, New England. That was the Nick Foles game, the Philly special. You had New England Rams, which is a defensive affair. You have Kansas City, San Francisco, Jimmy G failing when it matters most. Pretty standard there.
Sounds like Dak.
And then you have Tampa Bay trudging Kansas City. And then last year's was a good game.
Uncle Kyle, sorry I didn't see your messages in the chat. I should have seen that. That's my bad. I am in the Discord now, so remedied that problem. Sorry for everybody for having to fight to get into the comments. Okay. What else you got? Anything else on the Super Bowl?
It's going to be a good game. I'm going to be really drunk, and I'm going to eat a lot of food, as you all should too.
I'm probably going to I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to probably end up wallowing in my own self-pity about how shitty work was this week.
And by that, I mean, you mean you're going to play video games with me in between me smoking food?
I almost said that, and then I keep reminding myself that you have family coming over, so you might not be playing games. But
they're not. I don't know when they're coming over, but even if they did, Uncle Kyle, try refreshing the page, or if you're on mobile, try closing the app completely, because I can comment on my end now.
If you still can't comment, let us know, and we'll try to fix that, or if not, we'll fix it for next time. But you can comment from Twitch, or you can comment in the Discord, and I'm in there. So feel free to do either of those things if YouTube's not working. Okay, sweet. Super Bowl wrapped up. I'm not ready to rate my beer, I don't think, if you are, we can.
I'm not going to lie. I poured part of my beer into another cup to drink later, mostly just because I don't want to get drunk on this podcast. And this is not, it was way more alcoholic than I thought it was.
That sounds like a cop-out. And also, Jake didn't give me a heads up about this. So now I'm going to be the one that's drunk. And then I'm going to overly shit talk my cat again and fuck my...
Okay, but what percentage is your first beer?
It is only 5.4.
Mine is 13.9.
Yeah, well, it's your own fault, isn't it? I guess it's technically my fault. I picked it up for you.
Yeah, you did. Anyways, on to your topic, Kyle. What do you got for us?
Okay. More important than the Super Bowl. This weekend is the initial drop for Hogwarts Legacy.
It is.
If you didn't know, it's coming out. I care way more about that than I do the Super Bowl, to be completely honest. So if all things work out and I'm able to get my homework done, I will be playing Hogwarts Legacy during the Super Bowl, probably, which is why I said my attention would be divided. So go ahead. You were going to say something. I'll let you talk.
If you bought the deluxe version of the game, you can play it right now.
I didn't. We've talked about this before. If you want to rewind into the episodes of Two Average Husbands, we've already addressed the controversy about the Hogwarts Legacy game. So if you want to listen to us talk about that, you can do that. And B, we've addressed pre-orders and microtransactions before, and I am vehemently against them. So for me, I didn't pre-order. I won't pre-order. I'm going to wait. I'll buy it when it releases. Anyway, for the game, it's coming out. Like I said, we don't need to go into a long, in-depth conversation about this, but it is based on the world of Harry Potter, which has been a in-depth fandom of mine, I guess, since I was a child. Read the books, watched the movies. I got to live out my childhood dreams and see Harry Potter World at Universal Studios as a adult, which was fantastic. But the reason I bring this topic to you here today, on the eve of the release of Hogwarts Legacy, is because we are going to rank the movies.
Ooh.
It is something that we have yet to discuss and we need to discuss. So we're going to talk about the movies. And by the way, if you didn't know, the movies are not correlated in any way with the game. The game takes place way before the movies.
Yep.
So you're not going to see like any of those characters or their families. As far as I'm aware, there might be some like lineage in there, but I don't think so. You won't see people from the books or anything during the game. If you didn't know and you were expecting that, you will be disappointed. There's a Harry Potter play going on. Oh, Dave, what Harry Potter play would be my question, because I'm assuming it's probably Cursed Child, some version of that, because that was built to be a play. Could be wrong. All right, so if you have any way that you have pulled something up on your screen and you want to screen share and do this, go ahead and do that. Otherwise, we can just talk through it.
I just pulled up like the list of movies just so I could have them for visual reference. I can share it if you want.
It's totally up to you. I don't care how we do this. We can just talk too. To be honest, this is like, as a Harry Potter fan, this is actually kind of hard for me. And I think that I am unique in my perspective on at least one movie that I think for whatever reason is largely hated by the Harry Potter like fan world. But for, I absolutely love the movie, so I am unique in that probably.
See, I was hoping I could pull up a bracket real quick, but I don't see one made, so I will just share this screen over here. Okay, so this is just a list of the Harry Potter movies. It's really all it is, in the order that they came out. So we have The Sorcerer's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, Goblet of Fire, The Order of the Phoenix, The Half-Blood Prince, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and 2.
Fun fact, trivia question for you, Jake. What is the actual name of the first Harry Potter book in its original version? I could tell you it's not Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Hold on.
Do you know what country it was released in first?
The UK, correct?
Yeah. If you're Googling it, I'll stab you.
I'm pulling up. I am doing this in a better way. We're going to do this as a bracket challenge to truly.
So you probably would never see the like a book with that version in the United States. You might. I think there's actually some rare copies out there in the United States. But anyway, it's Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone was the original release. Not Sorcerer's Stone.
Okay, and as I pull this up, the movies, it's listed that way.
And I think the names were it's literally like they found out that people just didn't call it that in the United States, like Sorcerer versus Philosopher. Like they mean the same thing, I think, which is the reason why they ended up changing the name for the United States, because people were like, Philosopher, that's not what that is. Anyway, I don't know that I would do this as a bracket per se, because I think this is, but we can do it this way. I think it might be inaccurate in the end for a ranked order, but we can do it this way if you want.
Your call. This is your. Do you want a tier list? I can try and find a tier list.
To me, it's more of a tier list than a battle it out, but we can battle it out. I think that'll be a good initial way to do this, and then I will give you just no kidding my ranked order at the end.
Okay, I can do that. We'll do that. That works.
Share your screen. We'll do it this way. Yeah.
Perfect. All right. First up, this is right off the bat. Actually, I'm going to shuffle seating because this is, I'm pretty sure, just goes in order. So, bop, 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 bop. All right. Use matchup mode. All right. The fourth movie versus Deathly Hallows Part 2.
That sucks.
Goblet of Fire. Deathly Hallows Part 2.
This is like this.
Is this like 1 and 2 for you?
To me, is probably
Like-
1 and 2.
Or maybe even like 1A, 1B. Like,
Probably 1 and 2 to me. We can fight about the finessing of this, but I'm gonna go with 4. Goblet of Fire.
Okay, we're on the same page there. This is probably my 2 seed. Like if I were to seed this is probably like.
And when I was when I was talking about how I think I have a controversial opinion earlier, I think people hate Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Like in the actual Harry Potter like fandom universe, people do not like it. I don't know why, because it is truly one of my favorites. I think because of the unique aspects of that film and like the book as well, like when they brought in, you get the cultural aspect of it's one of the first introductions to like foreign wizarding worlds, and like you get all sorts of different shit. The competitions that they bring in a lot of, it's not just in the school dealing with things, right? So it's unique. Okay. Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone, as it is listed here, which is weird, and Order of the Phoenix. This again is challenging because to me, one might not be the highest display of acting quality of all time, but it sets the stage and introduces you to the characters. And for a lot of people, especially the ones that didn't read the books, it is something that pulls you into the world. That being said, Order of the Phoenix beats it for me.
This maybe is my hot take then. I think Order of the Phoenix might be the worst movie. Like if I were to rank it personally, I think that's like close to like dead last for me.
If I go back and watch movies, like if I feel like just watching a Harry Potter movie, I don't ever watch 1 or 2. Unless I feel like I'm going to watch them in order. Like if I want to, start from the beginning, I'll do 1 and 2. But if I just want to go watch one, I don't grab 1 or 2 off the shelf. I understand why people will have the nostalgic connection to 1. It's just not my favorite per se.
I'll give you this one. I'll give you Order of the Phoenix over Philosopher's Stone because I do agree that the acting is by far the worst in that.
It's really, really bad.
But
I guess maybe that's part of its.
It's
4.
To me.
4 versus 5 is 4.
Yeah, easy. We got that side of the bracket done. Next up, we got Chamber of Secrets versus the Half-Blood Prince.
To me, again, this is easy because I don't like 2. Hot take is my least favorite movie. I do not like Chamber of Secrets at all. I think the acting didn't get much better. The storyline in the movie wasn't that great. Book's better than the movie. And so for me, I would almost watch 1 and then go straight to 3 before I'd watch 2. I really don't like it. So I'm going to go with Half-Blood Prince here.
I'm also, Half-Blood Prince would also be my choice here. It's pretty clear to me, too. Next up, we got Deathly Hallows Part 1 versus Prisoner of Azkaban.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I think Deathly Hallows Part 1 is dog shit. And I think number 3 is an easy winner for me.
I don't think it's dog shit. I think it sets the stage really well for Part 2, but I think it lacks a lot of things because it really was just released to set the stage.
Yeah, it's like a introduction to a different movie that you have to watch for 2 hours or whatever.
Like when the example I always use is like the Avengers series, like Infinity War and Endgame. Like those were 2 standalone movies. If you watch them on their own, they're very good. You didn't need to watch 1 to understand 2.
Yeah.
You didn't need to watch 2 to understand why 1 was important. You could watch both of those movies. They're really good. If you just watch Deathly Hallows Part 1, you may not want to watch the finale. Like you may just be like, I don't want to waste my time again.
I will routinely skip Deathly Hallows Part 1 in my rewatches as well and just go straight to Part 2. Dave, Sorcerer's Stone is the one that you're talking about, Troll in the Bathroom.
All right, so Prisoner of Azkaban confidently won that one. So we have Half-Blood Prince versus Prisoner of Azkaban.
Half-Blood Prince probably takes it for me here over Prisoner of Azkaban.
It's very close for me.
Yeah, this is a close one. They're both good movies.
I'll go with you just because I don't have too strong of an opinion against that. So we'll rock there. And then we have Half-Blood Prince versus Goblet of Fire.
And this is where I think people would fight me over this, but I would probably still go Goblet of Fire.
I mean,
I probably would.
I won't fight you too hard.
I think the general fan world would. All that being said, and I know I've made some contradictory arguments here, but my ranked order is probably, if I had to fight about it, 4 or 7 Part 2. So it's really a 1A, B situation to me.
Yeah.
And then I would go 1, which I know I contradicted in the bracket, but I think I would go 1, because of the nostalgia and everything attached to that. And then I would go Half-Blood Prince, and then Order of the Phoenix, and then Chamber of Secrets, and then Part 1. I think that's the ranked order that I would do.
So
I'm pretty sure I covered them all. I don't think I missed anything there.
I think I would go Part 2. Half-Blood Prince, Goblet of Fire, Sorcerer's Stone, Azkaban, Chamber of Secrets, Part 1.
Okay, so you agree with me that Chamber of Secrets is pretty bad. Okay, that's good.
Yeah, Chamber of Secrets is if there was a movie that I was going to skip in Harry Potter, it would be 2.
I just don't like it.
It doesn't build anything for me. Like, it doesn't build me to continue watching. It doesn't, like, when I watched the first time, obviously I was like, yeah, this is fucking sick. But as you like have the whole story, like, I watched the movies and then read the books a lot of the times, which was a mistake.
Yeah. So I will admit, contrary to my dedication to being a Harry Potter fan, that I saw the first movie before I ever read a book, because I didn't really know anything about it, and I didn't really read. So I saw the first movie, and then I was connected to the universe, and that was when I decided I needed to start reading the books. So saw the movie, started reading, and then I beat most of the movie releases with the books moving forward.
That makes sense. I mean, it's how probably most people realistically got into it.
My brother and I so my grandma would buy us each Harry Potter book as they came out, and she would only buy one copy. Obviously, why would you buy 2? That's ridiculous. And so my brother and I would have to share, and we would fight basically to stay awake the longest into the night so that we could read ahead of the other one. Because we would take turns. It was like, you read 100 pages, I read 100 pages, which is like the nerdiest competition ever, right? Like,
I get it, though.
And then like my brother would pass out when it was my turn, and I'm like, I'm reading 200 pages, and I try to get all ahead of him. So loved reading the Harry Potter books once I got into it.
Yeah. Great books. Great movies.
Good movies, yeah.
Fuck J.K. Rowling, though.
Yeah, not a good person.
Yeah.
That's true. Why does it have to be her?
I know.
Why couldn't it be anybody else?
Literally. Anybody else. I like how the game has a subtle jab at her by having the first trans character in Harry Potter history.
Yeah, I can't confirm that yet because I obviously haven't played it, but I've seen the internet rumors about how there's a transgender character in the game, which is
Would be
pretty hilarious,
game.
and also probably contributes to your logic early that you said in the last time we talked about this, that this isn't funded or connected necessarily to J.K. Rowling, even though everybody's trying to protest it.
So I think she gets like general royalties from.
I'm sure she does.
Just being IP that she created, obviously, but for the most part, she is not making a ton of money off of this game.
And hasn't contributed, I'm sure, at all to the content within.
Yeah, no, it was not part of the creation process of this game. So
I say that to give myself a little bit of sense of, an excuse to continue to play this game, even though I stand with the people that J.K. Rowling's a piece of shit.
Yeah.
So
as we talked about last time, we talked about this. There's almost nothing you can support nowadays that doesn't
tie back to somebody that's shitty. Yeah.
Exactly. So it is what it is. But rate your beer.
Good call. This beer on a 5 scale is a 3.25. Above average, not bad. Pretty good. I wouldn't say it nailed the flavor of the Break Apart orange, but it's got the flavors there. They're present.
Mine is a little more disappointing than that. I'm going to go 2.25. It is a stout. I can confirm that. I didn't get a lot of the flavors that it was advertising I was going to get.
That's sad.
I will be, because I was so excited for this one.
I will begrudgingly admit that I have been forcing myself to drink sour beers outside of this podcast because I understand the amount of flavor that they put into it and how they can actually match flavors really well in sours. And so as much as shit talk as I've given sour beers, I've been trying them more, and I have enjoyed some of them.
They're great. I think I might switch to a sour.
I could rate the beers on a Harry Potter movie scale. Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
This
On
was
a 1 to 8 scale, if you consider 7.
This was a Chamber of Secrets for me. It's pretty bad. It's what it's supposed to be. Which
Maybe
is
we should
something.
do that. That's a good call, Dave. Just do that moving forward for the rest of the time we do this podcast. Just fucking every time we rate a beer,
But we pick a different scale every time. Like
different movie
so-
scale.
It'll be movie scale.
Yeah, this is
It
a
could
2
be-
towers for me, man.
This one's season 4 of Family Guy for me.
This is a Helm's Deep, brother. This thing fucking knocked it out of the park.
This is Call of Duty
yeah.
Modern Warfare 2, the original.
Yeah, Halo 2 for sure. All right, sweet. You want me to intro? I've got my beer ready. So
Yeah, go for it.
this one's got a really cool can, which is why I picked it up. This is the Bike Dog Brewing Company Milk Stout. They put stout on there twice, so I don't know if that was intentional.
Milk.
But look at this freaking can.
That's
It's
pretty
a
sick, man.
Day's Cow. But yeah, look at this. It is a milk stout. So
Stout.
there's that. It's only 4.6%, which is actually kind of surprising.
That's always a concern to me when I get a stout that has a low flavor or low alcohol. I always worry about the flavors. I am drinking also a cool can, Pie Face,
Yeah, it's
which
good.
is
Good
a
can.
banana sugar cookie crumble fruited sour. Roll me gently and keep me cold. That's what it says. Got to make sure you get the.
This actually has a really cascading property to it, like a Guinness. You probably can kind of see it there.
Yeah.
Kind of neat. To me, it's at only 4.6%. This is probably drinks like a Guinness. It's probably very light.
Yeah,
which to
probably.
me, it's. I remember when I first started drinking stouts, and everybody was like, "Stouts are so heavy," and then you drink Guinness, and you're like, "This is a light beer."
Yeah.
Especially when you get into like the denser stouts, like actually thick stouts.
Yeah.
It's Guinness is a light beer. Okay. What's your next topic?
So I'm gonna make
This
this, one
tastes like
nice,
Guinness.
nice and easy. As always, I steal a ton of inspiration from TikTok, and so I'm
You.
gonna ask you a few different things, and I'm gonna need you to tell me your first instinct, first opinion on the topic right away.
Okay.
There's no real thought.
Are you looking for like a single word? Like an emotion
No,
or a
no. It could be a thing. It could be a feeling. You could take one bite of food right now. Cost doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what this thing is. If you could have one bite of food in your mouth right now, what would it be?
pizza?
What pizza specifically?
Pepperoni jalapeno. We eat a lot of pineapple and jalapeno. Or Jesus Christ, I can't talk. We eat a lot of pineapple on pizza now, but I think if I was just going to go straight with what I would want the most, it would be pepperoni jalapeno. And really quick, Uncle Kyle, if hard monsters have caffeine in them, I'm never going to drink them on this podcast because we do it at night. So if we're ever going to do that, I'm going to have to demo it like on a weekend episode or something if we're going to do that.
I will drink it at night. I don't care.
I'm not doing that.
But so
I gotta sleep.
do you have a specific pizzeria in mind? Is there one that you prefer?
Yeah, that's a good question. I'm kind of a basic bitch actually when it comes to pizza because I have a tendency to really like Papa John's, but it's no longer available to me in my area, which is super sad and doesn't make any sense to me at all because it's not that far away. So no, I don't think that I have an answer to that right now. Not in my area.
For me,
I haven't found my pizza joint here.
if I were going to eat one thing right now, there's this guy who goes around to like a bunch of just different breweries, and he's like one of those, not really a food truck, but kind of thing.
Sure.
He goes by a Biker Dude Burgers, and I want his he's got like a stoner burger that he does, which is it's a triple smash burger with pepper jack cheese topped with Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
It does sound good.
He makes the best burgers that I have ever had. He's got his own seasoning that he has created and sells as part of it. And we will go out of our way to go to a brewery. Even if we wanted to go to a different one, we will go to the one that he's at because his burgers are that good.
I would fuck up an ugly steak right now.
Oh, I would fuck up an ugly steak too. God, I didn't think about that. But that one's up there. Ugly steak is up there. But the burger for me right now in this moment, when I drink, I want a burger. It's just like how my life has turned into.
Yeah.
So for me, the burger wins right now.
I don't know what the fuck Dave is talking about. I don't know what a lobster with gold flakes are. I don't eat seafood. What are gold flakes?
Like edible gold. It's like
That-
edible 24.
That's
karat
what you want. You want pieces of gold on a lobster.
Hey man, no.
That
judgment.
is like some bougie, pinky up shit to say to have that food
I
in your
fucking
mouth.
respect it.
Yeah, that is a power play right there.
All right, next up.
Okay, let's do it.
If you could listen to one song right now, what would it be?
Ooh. The Chain Fleetwood Mac.
It's a good song. For me, is a little bit harder. I've been into a lot of different styles of music right now, which is really throwing this off for me.
Yeah.
But if there's like a classic song for me that I can if I throw this song on, no matter what, I'm gonna have a good time. I'm gonna sing every word to the song. It's Ocean Avenue by Yellow Card. I could jam
I
out.
hate that.
I could
hate
jam
that
out
that's
to that
your song.
any chance that I
I don't
get.
really like Yellow Card.
I love Yellow Card. I love the good songs by Yellow Card. Let me clarify that statement. Is there any dessert that you are specifically craving right now? And if so, what would it be?
Dessert to me is a tougher one. So I know you wanted an immediate reaction. So my immediate response is cheesecake.
Mine
But-
is also cheesecake.
Dessert to me is a little bit tougher because I love dessert so much that like my sweet tooth is off the chain. Like I could eat ice cream and be happy, or cheesecake or whatever. So cheesecake is my initial thought process. I'm gonna catch up on some Dave stuff really quick. Pork loin sandy. To be specific, if you're gonna say you want a pork loin sandwich, if you want to be Iowan or probably Midwestern, it needs to be a tenderloin that's fried,
Yep.
not just a pork loin sandwich. So we need to be specific there to follow up on your next comment.
And it has to be thin and
Very thin,
well
crispy
bigger-
as shit.
way bigger than the bun.
At least 2.0 times larger than the bun.
Minimum.
Minimum. If you hit it right, it is 4 times bigger than the bun.
Yeah.
Crispy as shit with pickles and mustard for sure.
I'm out on that.
Jake
part,
hates
but
toppings. Gotta have pickles and mustard. I also like ketchup, but pickles and mustard. Bigger than the plate is a real win.
Yeah.
There's one place that I can think of for sure. Uncle Kyle, you can go there if you ever want. It's Newton's Cafe in Waterloo, Iowa. They have tenderloins that are bigger than the plate. So there you go.
I might take a road trip at this point. Dave's song of choice was "Element" by Pop Smoke. I can't say I've heard that song honestly.
I'd have to search it to know what that is.
Only One by Yellow Card. That does go hard. Facts. That is one of my.
Not good.
They're not the greatest band in the world, but their hitters hit.
I'm not there.
He did say milk chocolate ice cream would be his dessert. I have such a specific answer to this dessert.
Dave loves fucking plain ass milk chocolate, and I hate him for it.
That's
He
exactly.
wants a
why
Hershey's
He said that.
Kiss.
That is why he.
That's
said
what he
that.
wants.
That is why he said that. For me, if I could have one dessert right now,
Uncle Kyle's been there. Smitty's is really good. That is, yeah, no doubt, dude. Small world. I keep forgetting that Uncle Kyle would know most of these places.
yeah, he lives in Des Moines. Like,
Smitty's is good.
He's right by where you guys all kind of had your whole life beginning. That was a weird way to say that.
Kind
Anyways,
of. You're making Iowa seem like it's one long road. It's not.
it
He's in
kind
Des
of
Moines,
is.
which was an hour and a half from me, but yeah.
it's kind of one long road. Anyways, it's the 30th anniversary chocolate cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory. That is my favorite cheesecake of all time.
Okay. I don't fuck
But-
around with Cheesecake Factory enough to have a specific there.
If I could not pick cheesecake, I would pick the closest thing possible for me, which is key lime pie.
Key lime pie's okay. I would go Boston
murder.
cream.
I could murder key lime pie.
I would Boston cream pie before key lime, personally.
All right. Last one. It's your last day on Earth.
Yeah.
You can only watch one movie.
Yeah, okay.
What movie are you watching?
Yeah, that's a good question. This is a hard one for me to instinctually say because we just talked a lot about Harry Potter, so my mind is immediately going to Harry Potter,
Yep, I knew it would.
which would make me probably say I would watch Goblet of Fire, but I don't know if that would satisfy me enough, to be honest, if it was my last day and I can watch one movie. It might be Return of the King Part 2. I don't know. Some sort of fantasy movie for sure. I would watch Harry Potter or Lord of the Rings or something like that. Star Wars. Oh, fuck me up, dude. I would probably watch a Star Wars movie too. Can I just say a TV series and I would just watch Mandalorian all over again?
I mean,
I don't
that's
know.
fine.
Something like that.
I'll accept that. For me, if I had to pick one movie to watch, and it's the last movie that I could watch on this planet, I would pick Talladega Nights: The Ballad of Ricky Bobby. I want to go out laughing. I want to go out fucking cackling. That's how I want to go.
It's sad to me because like the first time I ever see those movies, and like especially when they first came out, I think my level of humor was, dude, that beer is fucking coffee flavored, like creamer coffee flavored.
It is.
I just realized that is
lie.
unique.
It's and it's, you got to remember, it's like a smoothie sour, so it's thicker.
Yeah, I don't hate on you for that whatsoever, but I think the longer I've gone on and watched those movies, the less I appreciate the humor. I'm just like, God damn it, this is so fucking dumb.
It is dumb, but there's something about the fact that I could watch that movie right now and I could probably say every line.
Oh, I couldn't do that. Not
as
for
it
that one.
happens. There's so many shows and movies that are like that. Like Jess gets annoyed when watching shit with me that she hasn't seen that I have, because I will say the shit out loud.
I'm like that with Harry Potter, and I've ruined it because I've tried to get Carly into some of those things too, like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, and like I completely appreciate the fact that it's just not her cup of tea per se for those things, but at the same time, like I try to get her to watch it, and I'm just like, I can quote almost every word of most of the Harry Potter movies, so it's like I have to completely like engage myself in not saying quotes before they are said on the show, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. But that's really all I had. I wanted to know how you were feeling right in this moment. So
yeah.
I think I got a good idea where your headspace is at.
Yeah. Casino. The movie Casino by... Fuck, I can't even picture that movie right now. Who's in that movie?
Vaguely can. It is Robert De Niro, Joe Pesci, James Woods, Sharon Stone. It's a good movie. I haven't watched it in a long time, but it's a good movie.
Sorry, I got to do something for Carly. You need to stall for a second while I look this up.
That's fine. I can stall. While you guys are here, if you're tuning in right now, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video if you like the video. Make sure you check us out on all of the streaming platforms that we are on. Kyle, I'm going to make him do this again at the end of the episode. But as a reminder, guys, we are always here to talk about what the people want to hear us talk about. If you guys have a topic for us, something you want us to talk about, just let us know what it is. We're always scrambling for topics, mostly last minute, because I don't know where my list went. So DM me at least.
My list is completed. Everything I do now is at the seat of my pants. I have checked every box on my list. I started off, Jake and I came up with the idea for this podcast, right, together, and we were working on things, and both of us were instantly like, I have so much to talk about. My list was like 30, 40, 50 things long. I don't fucking know. And I have talked about all of those things. So now it's like mostly based on either whatever hits me in the face that day or during the week or over the weekend, you know, whatever. Something a little bit more random and spur of the moment.
So help us out. Give us some topics. We want to talk about them. But Kyle, I stalled enough. What is your final topic of the evening?
This connects to something that you said for the second time today. This is hinted at, and I'm just starting to get a little buzzed, I think, so I'm forgetting the word. What's the word for when something alludes to something that's going to happen in the future?
Foreshadowing?
Foreshadowing. Thank you. Jake foreshadowed my topic. And that is this. There is a bar place. It's not a brewery. It's just a place that serves beer. Yeah, it's a tap room. Thank you. Down the street from my house. And it is called Brothers. It's a pretty good place. I have to, do something for Carly still. Anyway. Every week, I can't remember exactly what days. Anyway, weekly, they bring in a new food truck every week, right? Mm-hmm. And so we're like, hey, we want to try out these food trucks and go try out some new food because why not? It's literally right down the corner or right down the street from our house around the corner. So we have a tendency to go try some of these out. And almost every single time we go to these places and we're like, meh, right? And so a lot of the times what we end up deciding is like, say it's a Mexican food truck, right? We'll go, We would have had a better experience if we would have just gone to a freaking Mexican restaurant. Why did we go to the food truck? And so, Jake, I want to have your opinion on food trucks as a whole. And I want to know what you think about them compared to their brick and mortar location counterparts.
Okay, that's a good one. So,
Is it worth it to eat food trucks?
I think we're spoiled in our area that we have a lot of really good ones.
Okay.
Let me preface that by saying a lot of the brick and mortar locations of the same type of food I think are better. But to me, I would rather have a little bit worse food with better beer than like just. So for me, I'd rather go to a brewery, have the beer that I want, and have a couple tacos with it for a Mexican food truck, for example, or
Okay.
tamales or a burrito, whatever it may be, than go to a Mexican restaurant and have a Modelo. I think I enjoy the experience of trying new beer more than I do more new food. So I think for me, a lot of the times I prefer going to a brewery that has a nice, like, has just a food truck at it. Some of them are ass. Like, we have one that comes to the breweries by us all the time that's just like rotisserie chicken. I'm like, you just charge me $9 for this. I can get a whole one at Sam's Club for $4.95.
I think that might be. I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think one of the biggest issues I have with food trucks is because they've become so hipster, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like they're like the popular, like seen thing to do right now, and so they have found that they can fucking rage their prices through the roof, and you can pay like $10 for a fucking plate of fries, right? Like,
Yeah.
the food truck pricing is out of control. And
Weird.
I understand they have operating costs and food costs and blah, blah, blah. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, if you're not providing me with a meal that is better than what I could get at the closest restaurant I could drive to, your price needs to be lower. Period.
I don't disagree with you there. I think a lot of them, for us, a lot of them have really good pricing. So I will say that I think a lot of them are fair, especially for the convenience of not having to really wait for the food. You get it right there. You don't have to pay a delivery fee. You don't have to tip if you don't want to. We always do, but you don't have to.
You kind of feel like you have to.
Eh, kind
Oh, remind me to come back to that.
But so we also just like, we don't go too far out of our way for a brewery, so we get a lot of the same food trucks over and over, so we learn what we like there.
Yeah.
Like so we have this place local to us called Oswego Brewing Company. Phenomenal brewery. They're going to be a big name if they keep it up. Like, if they ever get the distribution to take their beer places, like, they've won a ton of awards already, and they really haven't been around that long. They rotate really well, and so you get to try a lot of different things. So they had one that was like, it was a tamale truck, so they only had tamales. But
Those are kind of boring.
but here's why they weren't. They had buffalo chicken tamales. They had Philly cheesesteak tamales.
That's not a tamale.
They were.
That's a hipster tamale.
It is, but they were fucking delicious. They were so good. They've got that one. They've got the chicken one. They've got a vegan one that's actually even pretty solid. They've got there's another one that around us that does a like Indian fusion. So they do like So during Oktoberfest, for example, they have butter chicken, which is like their staple, and it's solid butter chicken. It's nothing special. It's not phenomenal, but it's very good. But they did like a schnitzel masala meatball. So they like blend like the seasonal foods and the, like during Oktoberfest, you think German food.
Yeah.
So it's German food mixed with Indian food, which was cool. It's unique. It's a different way of doing things. And they specifically they plan what they're doing to the beers that the brewery has, which makes the experience a little bit better.
Okay.
And then you have some shitty ones that come around too. But I think like for me, I like the experience of trying something new. Plus then, like for a Biker Dude burger, for example, we know his burgers are so good. We will go out of our way to get that. If you find another food truck that you like, you will go out of your way to go to a different brewery just to get the food because it's that good. If you don't have that experience, though, if you don't have a lot of ones that are that good, I could see where you'd have your experience of like, yeah, this taco was cool, but I could have gone to X place and gotten 4 tacos that were better.
Yeah. That's the biggest thing for me is there is one taco truck in my entire life that sticks out to me as a memorable, I would go back. And it was not even I guess it was technically in the United States. It was in fucking Guam, of all places. Like, that was the best taco truck I've ever had. And then other than that, there's one food truck that I think I can think of, and I'm hopefully going to experience this again in August timeframe because I might be going back to the old Midwest around that time frame. I need to talk to you about that in the future, by the way. But anyway, I might end up back there, and there was a really fucking good Irish food truck that came around in Iowa that was so goddamn good that I can think of. Other than that, those are the only 2 times in my life that I can say that I like would absolutely go back out of my way to get that food.
Yeah. I would say there's not a ton that I go out of my way for, but I think most of them do add to the experience of being at a brewery that doesn't have their own food.
I think the problem for me is that food trucks capitalize on that type of environment, right? Like somebody sitting there having a few drinks and it's just so convenient. It's the convenience that brings people there, not the quality. So for me, like, for example, what ended up happening the other night that really fucking, at the end of the day, if I think about it again, kind of pissed me off, was that I go to this place and it cost me, I think, more than it would have cost me to go and have a sit-down dinner with my wife with maybe even some drinks involved to eat super fucking mediocre food truck food.
Yeah. That's tough.
Like it was, we walked away from that and like we're sitting there eating it. So we got it to go, went back home and ate it, which is, like I said, right around the corner. So it's not like it had some time to like get bad. Like we ate it fresh. And it was like the greasiest fucking shit. I don't know. It was just like it was supposed to be kind of like a, I don't know, maybe like Tex-Mex for lack of a better term, like barbecue style, you know, barbecue, whatever. But they had like tacos and shit too. So like the tacos that they had were boring as fuck, like barely any seasoning. And then there was just like the equivalent of tachos, but with fries instead.
Yeah.
And it was like pure grease. And so I paid like $50 fucking for this meal, for the 2 of us. And it's just like, oh my God, this is so disappointing. And it left this bad taste in my mouth about food trucks, which is why I brought this topic up to begin with. Dave, too, really quick. Agreed. Hot dog trucks or carts, however you want to look at that, can be really good. But that being said, it's a fucking hot dog. Yeah. So like, you could probably make it at your house too.
I've had very few hot dogs in my life where I was like, this was gross. Like, I know what I'm eating. So the hot dog itself is kind of gross, but it's also like, it's hard to fuck up a hot dog.
I will fuck up a Chicago dog though. And I know Jake doesn't like Portillo's because of all of the reasons, but I would fuck up a Chicago dog.
Portillo's is good. It's just not the GOAT. That's how I'll say that. I'll
That's
leave it
fair.
at that. But yeah, for me, I think food trucks are so like specific too. Like some people are going to listen to this and be like, the food trucks in my area are the best food that I've ever had. And that's very possible. But in a lot of ways, there are some food trucks for sure.
Carly's not wrong. There was one fancy hot dog truck that we went to, and the reason it was so bad is because, and they bragged about it. They were like proud of this, and I guess it's just like a total turnoff for me. But they had like naturally skinned hot dogs that were supposed to be like a snap in your mouth, kind of like because of like the dense skin on it or whatever. Yeah. It was fucking gross. Don't hit me with that. I put a lambskin condom on the outside of some meat and you're gonna eat it because yuck. It was fucking gross. And Carly and I we each took a bite and we're like, oh, what is this? And then we looked back at the truck and it was like, we have the snappiest in your mouth. I don't know. They were so proud of it. Like it was a point of advertising for them and it was not good. It was so gross.
That just makes me think of the episode of The League where Tacho. You've got me fucked
Taco.
up. Taco opens the EBDB B&B.
Yeah.
And Sophia comes to make the chorizo and just uses the condom. And they're like, ooh. And
that's exactly what it was like. It was so gross. And no, Dave, it was not like a sausage. It was legit a hot dog that they just had a dense fucking skin around. It was
wrapped in a condom.
Gross.
That's a tough scene.
And by the way, if I'm not mistaken, Carly brought it up, but I think that it might be that food truck. It might not be, but one like right after we had it, like completely shut down, completely closed business. It might have been a different one though. Yeah, the casing is the proper terminology for that. It was disgusting.
All right.
Some sausages are like that.
Sometimes great, sometimes bad. We know now.
To make a long story short, I don't blame people for liking food trucks, especially if, like Uncle Kyle said, like you find one that's got good food or even decent food at a very reasonable price. Yeah. In my area, that does not exist, so it has been routinely disappointing.
It happens. It happens to the best of us. But Kyle, before we wrap up the show, rate your final beer.
Yeah, I was just going to remind you. This beer to me tastes like they grabbed this here fancy can and poured Guinness into it. So I'm a Guinness fan, but because of the fact that it doesn't have any differentiating really factor to me other than that, it's probably like a 2.75. It's okay.
That checks. For mine, as always, banana kind of just takes over whatever it's in, especially in a
Banana does.
So you have to like banana to like this beer. I really do like banana, and you can tell it's real banana, not fake banana, which I also very much appreciate.
I hate artificial banana.
I still love it, but this is a 3.75. This is a very solid one. I think you would like this one if you like banana.
In my recent years, have much more come around to banana. I don't think I ate an entire banana in my life until I was an adult.
Jess
And now I like
doesn't.
banana more.
Jess does not like banana, so she is right there with you there.
I don't dislike them
right
anymore.
there with how you used to be.
Right. So yeah, I'd give it a shot. All right. Good episode. That's all we have. So this has been another episode of the Two Average Husbands podcast. Thank you for joining us. Jake alluded to some of this earlier, so I will just do a quick reminder. You can follow us on social media at @2AVG Husbands on Twitter and on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube, spelled out Two Average Husbands. Like us, follow us, hit the bells, hit the reminders, do whatever you got to do to be here live with us. That is the best way to view this podcast is live, so you can comment with us and participate. And as Jake said, suggest topics and talk along with us. If you don't want to do that, you can find us on almost every streaming platform and watch us or listen to us, after the fact, should you so choose to do it that way. You can follow Jake at his personal at Perry_FF on Twitter. I don't have social media. Whoop, whoop. If you want to hear me talk about it, it's on a previous episode. I think that's all I've got. That was pretty down and dirty. Comment on Twitch or YouTube or in the Discord. Twitter doesn't work still, unfortunately.
Kyle covered most of it. Make sure you guys keep an eye on our social medias. We have some fun things coming up that Kyle doesn't even know about yet because I'm going to force him to do some things that he has no control over because that's how this podcast works. It's the perks of being in charge of everything since he deleted everything. But as always, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for all of the support, all of the live interaction. We love it. This week, we're off our game. We missed a week. We didn't interact.
We started
with the
late
chat.
twice in a row.
We didn't interact with the chat as much as we did. We may have to make some adjustments to the time if Kyle keeps getting stuck at work.
I'm sorry. I'm trying not to.
But it is what it is. We live, we learn. We love you guys. Thank you guys, as always, for tuning in. We will see you all in next week's episode. And as always, don't forget to tell somebody that you love them.
Peace.